Greetings to all student learners, especially to our professor, Mrs. Mercy Joylan. By the way, I am Sean Diawi Alice reporting the continuation of Chapter 9. Today, I'm going to discuss about anatomy and physiology of the human eye. Before that, let me explain what is anatomy and physiology. Well, anatomy is the study of structures associated with the human body, while sociology is the study of the function of each of these structures. The human body is often thought of as a complicated machine. Well, we know that. Now, let's focus on the human eye. So basically, we have five sociological systems in vision. Our first one is the protective structure. The protective structures surround the eye to protect it from harm. These are the only eye socket in the skull and protruding bones in the cheek and forehead. The lacrimation system or tardax, the eyebrows, eyelids, and eyelashes. The eye socket, which contains the eyeball where most of the parts of the eye are found. It is comparable in size to a ping pong ball. It protects the sensitive mechanism for vision trauma, together with the bones of the cheeks and forehead. The tear ducts or lacrimation system protect the eye by secreting fluid or tears that lean and keep the eye moist. The eyelid moisten and lean the cornea through blinking. The eyebrows and eyelashes catches the foreign bodies that may enter the eyes. Alright, so the second sociological system is in vision is refractive parts. So refractive structure bend on refract light rays so that the image of the object focuses on the retina. Retractable structure composed of the first one is the cornea, is the curved transparent membrane that protects the sensitive parts of the eye. It is the front window of the eye that starts the process of vision by bending the light rays into pattern or images. Then the light rays pass through the aqueous humor chamber, which is one of the two fluid-filled chambers. The aqueous humor is a watery liquid that fills the front chamber of the eye to keep the eyeball properly inflated. The pupil constructed as a circular hole in the center of the colored iris. The pupil constricts or dilates to regulate the amount of light entering the eye. It is constricts or closed to a tiny circle to bright light and dilated or open a wide darkness to allow as much light possible to entering the eye. The lens is a transparent of elastic little envelope of fluid suspended by tiny strong muscles. The lens adjusts its thickness so that the both near for near vision and makes it flat or far or distant vision. The lens moves an average of 100 times a day, which is equivalent to 50-mile hike to a leg muscle. Like aqueous humor chamber, the vitreous humor chamber is filled with fluid. The vitreous humor is a jelly-like substance that has a consistency of an egg white, but still clear enough for light to pass through. The vitreous humor fills most of the eye interior. The third sociological system in vision, the muscles. These function to coordinate and balance the movements of the eyes. They turn, raise, and lower the eyes in response to cranial or brain nerve impulses. So, the fourth one is the retina and optical nerve. Retina is a multi-layered sheet of nerve tissues as the back of the eye. The retina is the last part of neural receptor system for vision. It is like a film of camera for a clear image to be transpired to brain that light rays comes to focus central portion of the retina. The retina contains some 137 million light receptors. All are shaped like rods in black and white vision, and 7,100,000 are shaped like cones or color perception. The rods are responsible for night vision of seeing objects and images under condition of low illumination. All 37 million light-sensitive sensitive part of the retina is the macula, at the center of which lies the fovea rather, the area that is vital to the extract declamation of the details of an image or object. The optical nerve is connected to the retina and conducts visual images to the brain. While the optical nerve is capable of transmitting messages from retina to the brain at the speed of 300 miles per hour. The last part of sociological system and vision, which is the brain where vision takes place. Vision takes place in the occipital lobe of the brain located at the back of head. The occipital lobe is one of the four lobes of the brain that are named four major skull bones that covers them. Audition or hearing takes place in the temporal lobe found behind the forehead. The parietal lobe at the top of the head towards the near process body sensation. The frontal lobe is part of the brain that governs the highest function associated with the conscious activities and intelligence. And the last one is the frontal lobe also controls the movement of voluntary muscles. Now let's answer of how vision takes place. Well, the basic function of the eye is to collect visual stimuli and information in the form of mechanical energy from the environment through the sociological process of sensation. The eye has tens of millions of electrical connections that are capable of handling as many as 1.5 million messages at the same time. During the process of vision, the stimuli are converted into electric impulse are described as the language form that the brain understands. The optical nerve conveys the nerve impulse to the occipital lobe of the brain where perception takes place in the form of visual images. Actually, we have three conditions for vision to take place. The first one is the eyes are stimulated by light rays reflected from object in the visual field, and lastly, the mechanical energy is converted into nerve impulse which the brain processes into visual images. The light rays passes through the cornea, then the aqueous humor chamber, then the pupil, the lens of the vitreous humor. The light rays come to the clear focus of the retina. The optical nerve conducts the visual images of the brain where perception of the visual experience to intake place. Alright, I hope you've learned something. Thank you for listening. Again, I am Sean Diabe Alice and this is the Anatomy and Physiology of Human Eye.